Motherhood is a sensory ecosystem, not a moral identity, and ADHD turns that ecosystem into a high-intensity environment where your nervous system is asked to perform at a level it was never designed for. Children are sensory creatures by nature, loud, curious, repetitive, physically present in a way adults aren't, and none of that is wrong or bad. But when you combine that constant input with an ADHD brain that already struggles with noise, unpredictability, and interruptions, you end up living in a state of permanent sensory negotiation, trying to regulate a system that never gets a moment of silence. The cultural expectations layered onto mothers make this even more absurd. Society still operates on a patriarchal blueprint, where women are expected to be endlessly patient, emotionally available, organized, nurturing, and calm under pressure. ADHD mothers are already overstimulated before breakfast, yet they're handed a job description that assumes they have unlimited executive function and infinite emotional bandwidth. The child isn't the problem. The expectations are. And those expectations were clearly written by people who never had to soothe a toddler while remembering 3 appointments and locating a missing shoe. Children explore the world through noise, touch, movement, and proximity, which is developmentally normal. But ADHD mothers experience the world through sensory amplification, low frustration tolerance, and nervous system overload. These two realities collide daily, not because the child is doing anything wrong, but because the mother's sensory threshold is already at 80% before the day even starts. The result is a constant negotiation between loving your child and surviving the sensory impact of their existence. Motherhood also requires planning, scheduling, remembering, anticipating, organizing, and multitasking, all the things ADHD brains struggle with. And children, especially young ones, have no executive function of their own, so the ADHD mother ends up running 2 nervous systems at once, hers and her child's. She's remembering her own tasks while remembering the child's schedule, the partner's needs, the household chores, the school forms, the emotional climate, and the invisible labor that keeps the entire operation functioning. This isn't incompetence, it's cognitive overload disguised as responsibility. ADHD rage becomes unavoidable in this environment because motherhood removes every escape route. You can't walk away, you can't decompress, you can't regulate, you can't pause, and you can't hide. Your child needs you immediately, even when your nervous system is already in meltdown mode. Rage in motherhood isn't about anger at the child, it's about the absence of recovery windows. It's the physiological reaction of a system that has been pushed past capacity with no opportunity to reset. The shame comes from outside, not inside. When ADHD mothers snap, society doesn't see overload, it sees failure. Impatient, too reactive, not maternal enough, not calm enough. Men get he's stressed, while women get she's failing, and that judgment lands hard because mothers are conditioned to believe their emotional regulation is a moral responsibility. The child isn't the source of the shame, the cultural script is. Masking becomes a survival strategy. ADHD mothers perform patience while their nervous system is on fire, perform organization while their brain is in chaos, and perform emotional stability while running on fumes. Masking in motherhood isn't about pretending for the child, it's about surviving the gaze of everyone else. It's a full-time performance layered on top of a full-time job, and the cost is astronomical. Burnout becomes the baseline because ADHD adults rely on decompression, solitude, silence, and downtime to regulate their nervous system, and motherhood removes all of those. There is no reset button, no quiet room, no uninterrupted moment. Burnout isn't a phase, it's the default operating mode of an ADHD mother trying to function in a system that demands constant output without offering any recovery. The reality is simple. ADHD motherhood is a neurological mismatch with a cultural system built on unrealistic expectations. This isn't about loving your child less or regretting motherhood.
It's about acknowledging that the environment is high intensity, the demands are relentless, and the support is non-existent. The child is not the storm, the expectations are, and the mismatch is neurological, not emotional. ADHD motherhood is the perfect storm because the system was never built for us. It amplifies every symptom, exposes every vulnerability, and demands a level of regulation that ADHD brains cannot produce without support. It's not a fairy tale, and it's not a tragedy. It's a reality that deserves to be understood instead of romanticized.